Dr. Chill, welcome to Beyond.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, Ben.
Yeah, man. So want to give the audience a little backdrop on you. Your name is Karambo Chilambo. By the way, I love Chilambo. That is a clothing line I would absolutely wear. I love that whole chill aspect to it.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
So you go by Dr. Chill and, of course, Dr. Chill OG. And you're
yes,
a pediatric doctor by profession who is
yes, sir, I am.
Caring for children and their diseases.
Yes, sir.
I also read you're a father of 8 children and passionate
yes, sir.
about your family and your music.
Yes, yes sir.
And in fact, you are the father of 2 famous American singers. And I don't want to get their names wrong, but it's Janae Aiko.
It's Janae Aiko.
Janae Aiko. And then
Janae Aiko. And Mila J. Yes, sir.
Mila J. And I've listened to their songs, and they are exceptionally talented. So congratulations. And we'll talk more about that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you got to be fired up as a dad. You've done a great job, and what a great legacy and story you're going to bring to the audience today.
Thank you so much.
So as I was reading your story, I'm just curious, Dr. Chill, take us back to where it all got started for you.
In terms of what?
Where did your career start? You're a doctor, so take us back to when you're 18 and that progression to where you're at today.
Okay, well, when I was 14, I saw a lady laying on the ground, and she'd been in an accident, and this particular ambulance couldn't take her because she didn't have any kind of insurance. So basically, someone had to take her to a hospital. We're talking 1958. And I said, wow. I said, I want to become a doctor because it's not right to see people be injured and the ambulance will not pick them up and take them to where they need to go. It was ridiculous,
Yeah.
And so that started my journey on wanting to become a doctor. And ever since I was 14, that's what I decided that I wanted to do. Yes, sir.
Isn't it amazing how you can come across and experience your life, you touch life, or life touches your life, and it fundamentally shifts where you end up in life?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I've always been about loving everything and everybody. I was raised, I didn't have a father in my life. So it was my mother and 5 other siblings, and we pretty much had to kind of raise ourselves. To give you a sort of background, I started working at 8 years of age. So I've been working for 6 to 7 years, and I sold papers. So I put myself through grade school and high school by working. I got a scholarship to college, and I got scholarships and loans to go to medical school. So pretty much it's been me, myself, and I, and the universe, which gave me everything I needed, and to this day gives me everything that I need. And that's how I live my life. I live my life according to the needs. The universe gives me what I need. I'm fine.
So where did that hard work ethic come from? Was it your mom? I mean, what instilled in you at 8 years of age to have that vision, that tenacity, that determination, to take a job and make it happen?
Being raised in the ghetto and knowing that if I didn't do it, it wasn't going to get done. It was just something that was inside me. I had to do. I've been self-motivated. My mother worked hard, and she had enough time to go to work and try to take care of us. And when she couldn't take care of us, which she did the best job she could, we took care of ourselves. And I just said, you know what? I love school. I had to walk to school every day, rain, sleet, snow, whatever. I love going to school. And people used to hate to see me show up because when I showed up, there was no more curve. I said, oh no, he showed up today. We're not going to get, it's going to be 100. Oh my goodness. There's not going to be a curve, I love school, man. I've always been self-motivated. I've always been into knowledge, I love to learn,
Yeah.
I love to learn. Yeah.
Well, behind every great boy growing up is a great mom, for sure.
Yes.
So what steered you from the negative in the ghetto to a positive perspective?
Again, it was the fact that I knew that my background was not going to determine what I would be in life. I knew that. And it's all the other people used to see me used to always say, we're not gonna get in his way. We're not gonna mess with him because we know he's gonna make something of himself. They knew that. I just had that self-determination. Nothing was gonna stop me, but me. And being poor for me was not really an issue because I knew that even though I was poor, I was not impoverished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people are poor and they're impoverished. In other words, they let the economic condition define them, that was not going to be me at all, you know.
So you're
and I've always been in sharing, you know. To me, life is not worth living unless you're sharing. Every day to me is a gift. So when I meet anybody, including a stranger, I always bring them a gift of a smile, a gift of a word, a gift of whatever, you know, because life is truly a gift. That's why they call it the present. Life is a gift.
Yes.
Okay. And it's a gift of the now. If you look at the word know, you take the K, put that in parentheses. Know is a beautiful word, K-N-O-W, because that means you are present in the now, you know. And I'm also a big fan of homophones, okay? So homophone are two words that sound alike spelled differently. So I love the word know and know. Know is the most powerful word in English language negatively because it stops everything. But K-N-O-W is the most positive word in English language because it allows you to know everything. So I'm real big on small words every day. I take a simple word, I go with it. Life is a simple series of situations, and you know, people make them way too complex. They do.
Yeah, they do. And that's great. I like that know and know because it's so true. On one hand, you can say no. On the other hand, you can say no, and I'm empowered with knowledge. And no is spelled K-N-O-W. You get rid of the K, and you're in the now.
Exactly. And when are you most human? When are you most human, most conscious? In the now. You live in the moment. Be mindful. If you just think about what you're doing in the moment, life is a series of moments. Live them momentarily, and you'll be fine.
Right.
When you make a habit of it, you'll really be fine.
Yeah. And so let me go back to becoming a pediatric doctor. So
yes, sir.
What did some of these kids that you treated and cared for over the years teach you about the meaning of life and what's really, really important?
Again, simplicity, you know, the simple love. I've seen babies from I've attended babies who weighed less than a pound, got them living. My most enduring patient was a child. He was 2.5 pounds when he was born. All we did was keep him in the hospital for like 45 days, and he eventually grew to a size where he could go out. And the love that those babies give you, it's just the life is such a beautiful thing. Matter of fact, for me, life is love in full effect. And that's exactly what it is. It's love in full effect. If people have to understand that we're all one, and if you go from alone to all one, if you go from alone to all one, the big difference is the L, which stands for love. So it's all about love, brother. It's all about love. And when you see those babies growing and you know, when they used to come into my office, they would dress up, what tie is doctor going to wear today, you know, what animals you're going to have on his shoulder, you know, how's he going to greet us? You know, it's just indescribable. And I've seen literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of patients over the years, and it's gratifying. I mean, family doesn't get any better than children. And, you know, at the end of family is the word I-L-Y, I love you. So, I mean, there it is. You know,
I love that.
It's all about love. Brother, it's all about love, period. Listen, it's the love of the universe that gave us. You realize that, Ben, we are one of 8.5 million species. And I wrote a song called Prayer to Great Spirit, in which it was a human's ode to the universe to thank the universe for have given us everything, because as far as I can see and know, I don't see much of what I give to the universe, but the universe gives me everything. So I wanted to make an ode to the universe to thank, you know, the flowers, the trees, even the things, you know, we walk down the sidewalk and we stumbled and we kicked the sidewalk like it was trying to hurt us. No, you praise the sidewalk for letting you be aware, hey, maybe you should watch your step next time, right? You know?
Right.
So, you know, that's the thing. I literally love the universe because, you know, the universe, before we were beings, we were in the thought process of somewhere of the universe. And it said, okay, now is the time, 4 million years ago, okay, now is the time we're going to see this earth with some human beings. And I'm so grateful. I am grateful for everything and everybody around me, period. Because we're all one. You know, Ben, it's often said, do you realize one molecule, this blew my mind, one molecule has, in your body, one molecule in your body has more atoms than there are stars in the universe.
Really?
So not only are you a universe yourself, but every molecule in your body is a universe of atoms itself. That is amazing. when you understand that, you become void with the sense of, wow, this thing I have called life, it's got to be so sacred and so beautiful that I have to just do everything I can to be positive. You don't even have time to deal with the negativity except, okay, negative is a negative word. Okay, fine, that's it. Other than that, man, you got to be buoyed by the sense of what a beautiful experience you're having, this thing called life through love.
You know, I've never heard that before. It's interesting about the molecule, because when you think about the number of stars in the universe, I'm not just talking our galaxy, that's even hard to get your brain around, the idea that our molecules have more. And, you know, the other thing I like about your philosophy is you kind of look at the universe and you go way beyond what we see here in this earth, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
About what we are, we're on a rock flying through the universe in this galaxy, right? And,
yes, sir.
And it's just kind of weird when you think of that from that perspective. You say, you know what? We should be looking at life as a gift, and how precious it is that all the constituent parts and components form to make us uniquely us.
Yes. This is amazing. It's just, oh my God. When you think about it, no two snowflakes are alike. No two leaves are alike. No two blades of grass are alike. Oh my goodness, come on, people. You have to look inside yourself and see what's on the outside is also on the inside. Merge the two and be grateful. Be grateful forever. Be eternally grateful. Eternally grateful.
Yeah.
You know?
So you have a very unique, expanded worldview. What really shaped that worldview? Was it going through the poverty experience, or what was it that made you connect on this level? Because most people aren't this deep, authentic. In other words, what is it, and how can we tap into that?
Well, you know, being in the so-called underclass, you know, it made you look at things like, when I first heard that a negative word that describes some people that starts with N, I go, Mama, what is that? I mean, because until I was 10 years old, I lived in a all-black community. I didn't know anything about color, or, you know, this is better or that's better. I didn't even know what the word ghetto meant until we moved from one small city into a bigger city. And I said, you know what? If that's so bad, I'm going to make that negative thing so positive that I'm going to show the world, you know what? Again, I will not be defined by being the so-called, I don't know, lower class people say, change how you talk, change how you walk. I'm going, but there's nothing wrong with me. I had this priest. I was raised Catholic. Mm-hmm. He was a nephew of Pope Pius, I think the 10th it was. And I said, but Father, and he was Dominican. I said, Father, so why should I change who I am? I said, didn't God make me perfect? Don't you always tell me we all have beautiful and wonderful souls? So is there something wrong with me? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with me. So it was from that point of view that I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that the people on the bottom will be exalted. Because as I recall, in the Bible, it says, the meek shall inherit the earth.
That's right.
And I don't think there's anybody more meeker or more humble than I was in terms of how I was raised. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to be in that meek crowd, and we're going to be fine. And ever since then, I've always been for the underdog. I've been for I've been for the masses. I mean, medical school, before medical school, it's, to me, it's, I can understand how Mother Teresa must have felt among the masses in India, because, I mean, that, like I say, to me, your past or your economic situation should never define you. Never, Right. Never. Right.
You know, it's funny. I was in a medical device career, still am, and I had the opportunity, probably been in about 650 open hearts. And I remember when I was in Minneapolis one time at the Mayo Clinic, we were doing an open heart procedure, and the doctor said, Ben, and this was a minority person that was on the table. He goes, when you cut through the skin, we're all the same. And you look at the vasculature, you look at the bones, it's all the same, whether you're rich or poor. And the last I checked, for the billionaires and the multimillionaires, people say if they die, gee, I wonder how much they have. And the answer is a big fat zero. They have nothing. They don't take anything with them. And all they can do is in this earth, try to bless and honor other people. And if they're evolved enough, and if they're mature enough, they'll take that route. Because I've met the most rich and incredible people who had nothing, because life taught them so many rich lessons.
Right.
They turn out as very wise people.
Right. Well, Ben, I've always said that, there's an old saying, and it goes, how something starts is how it ends, how you meet somebody. If you're meeting somebody a good way, if your relationship or friendship ends, it ends in a good way. So I look at it this way. I go, if you start off with nothing in life and you end up on your deathbed with nothing in life, you're born with nothing, you take nothing with you. So the journey in between means nothing of materiality really has value. Nothing. So that's how I live my life. I'm not attached. I can give away my phones, my car, whatever I have given away. And I'm not a person who just says what I mean. I do what I mean, One of my big things about love is I always tell people, if you're going to say you love somebody, just show them love. The proof is in the action. The proof is in the taste of the pudding. Not, hey, I got this great salad, taste it. Okay, if I taste it and it's good, I'll say it's good to me. If it's tasted, it's not good, I'll say it's not good to me. That's my perspective. So that's what people should deal with is what is the person's actions? What's the worthiness of their actions? That I go by what you do, not by what you say. It's very important.
100%. In this society, we're very transactional, and sometimes we really miss that bigger meaning. But I came across one of your posts that really struck me. It said, "Remember, you cannot rewrite what is written in the stars because you're a recycled stardust." And I just absolutely love that. And I want to get your thoughts on that.
Again, everybody, it's like, I don't know, it just sort of, self-evident. It's the universe goes by a set of immutable laws. Those immutable laws are written in mathematics. So I have great love for mathematicians like Einstein and Nikola Tesla. I wish I knew higher math, but everything is written down. Everything is formulaic. Everything is formulaic. So to me, a lot of people they just believe in certain things, and it's like, it's okay to believe, but you have to have knowledge. You see, the difference in belief and knowledge is the word belief has the word lie in it. And anytime a root word has something in it, a basic word like belief has the word lie in it, then I'm not going to deal with that. I have to have the experience. And my own experience has taught me that it's what I know that's important. And I don't know, I guess to answer your question, it's not an inevitability, like we doctors always say, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. I look at the more part of the suffering being optional. You look at something the way that your perspective shows you, as opposed to somebody else telling you, well, it's going to be this or it's going to be that. So again, if you understand, when man first worshiped a deity, so to speak, he worshiped Ursula Major. Ursula Major is Mother Bear. Mother Bear is feminine, okay? Mm-hmm. So if man first worshiped God as a woman, then why are we worshiping God now as a man? I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I'm just saying, understand knowledge, historical perspective. Once you understand historical perspective, put things in perspective, then you understand about the balance of divine masculine energy versus divine feminine energy. As opposed, one is not greater than the other, but one did come before the other. Okay, we know if the chicken came before the egg, because an egg itself cannot lay a chicken, but a chicken can lay an egg. We know this. Okay, so that's the belief versus the knowledge. So that's the kind of thing I was trying to say.
No, that's well articulated. It's funny when you think about whether it's poverty, whether it's race or racism. I come from a scientific background where we have to go through the scientific method where you need data based on an N of 31 or 32 statistically significant or even larger, sir. Right? We're looking at, we're in the COVID era where, chloroquine, right? It's not just, let's go try it. You really got to test it to see what it's all about. But
exactly.
That really struck a chord, because if I don't understand where you come from and your perspective and your experience and how that shaped your life, then my belief about your situation or my perspective about your situation is really about 2% accurate, maybe. Maybe it's 1%. And it's really about getting relativity about your life, your experiences in this culture, in this society, about what's really happening for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. So I came across another one of your posts when Kobe Bryant died, and certainly God
Yes.
rest his soul. That was,
Yes.
I got to tell you, I was up at the up in Beverly Hills, and when I saw the news come across, I was stunned. But you had something interesting to say about, you mentioned eternal life is the key. And what did you mean by this? And how should we think about death and grieving and what this meant for for the world at large?
Again, okay. So that's an excellent question. So, to me, it goes something like this. Okay, so we know that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's one of one of the laws. And I was struck by people saying, we'll never see the face of Kobe Bryant again on this earth. But I said, but we will see the face of Kobe Bryant again in the universe. And what I meant by that is that if you think about it, this life that we have here, this is a trial. You get a 70, 80, or 90-year-old trial, 100-year-old trial, maybe 110-year-old trial. And based on what you do, then that consciousness at the end of your life goes on. And instead of being that pound of hamburger that's solid, now you're the pound of hamburger that's shredded. So you have more surface area. So you will affect more people. You will be around more people. So the consciousness of Kobe Bryant, when he was alive versus when he's dead, guess what? It's greater, right? So you got to look at that. Is that there's a book called The Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I urge people to go out and get a Tibetan Book of the Dead, and it teaches you about how to prepare for death. I have a saying. I have 2 birthdays. I have an Earth birthday, and I'll have a gateway birthday. My gateway birthday will be the day that I transition. Isn't that beautiful to think about it like that? Like, okay, I have 2 birthdays, an Earth birthday, and I have a heavenly birthday, okay? And they're both in the same thing of the non-time, which is called eternity. When I thought about that, I felt, wow, this is beautiful. I don't fear death. I have a song out called I'm Not Afraid. And I go through what I'm not afraid of. And like, for instance, right now, during this crisis that people are going through right now, I tell people, do not be afraid, okay? False evidence appearing real, okay? If you're afraid, your immune system is going to go down. You're going to stress. Your cortisol is going to go up. You're going to have your heart rate's going to go up. Your breathing rate's going to go up. Your immunity is going to go down. So you become more susceptible to whatever's out here. So keep your frequency high. The earth frequency is vibrating high. Vibrate with the earth. Vibrate with the universe. The universe vibrates at 432 hertz. I'll do all my music 432 hertz. And it makes a big difference because if I'm vibing with the universe, whose number is 9, or the number of completion, then it's a beautiful situation. I told my daughter once, I said, I don't compete, I complete. She said, what do you mean? Well, so the difference between compete and complete is L. It's about love. Everything comes back, it sounds trivial, everything comes back to love. Okay, everything comes back to love. So I don't fear, we are one of 8.5 million species, Ben. One of 8.5 million. Okay? And we have to understand our place in this universe. We have to understand that we're going to have 2 birthdays. It's going to be a beautiful situation. I love going to the cemetery to visit my son because I see certain groups, certain cultural groups, whom I won't name, but they party at the cemetery. They have anniversaries at the cemetery. They celebrate holidays. It's like you never die. You really never die. You think about it. My son's been dead for 8 years. Every year we celebrate his birthday, every July. And I wear this every day. This is Miyagi. He was my 8th child. He died of brain cancer. He's still alive. I talk to him all the time. We talk all the time, you know?
That's beautiful.
Right now,
Jill, that's beautiful. Right
now, Ben, there are millions of spirits right around you and right around me right now, okay? We just have to tap into them, okay? Because they are we and we are they, period, you know? And you know, we're all one. I am you and you are me. And once we understand it, even though we don't like President Trump's politics, people are going to hate me for saying this, he's still one of us. It's not a they, it's a we, okay? Right. It's a we thing, okay? And as long as we understand it's about we, and we understand that there's a life, but there's also a death, But that death opens up a greater life, okay? Personally, I believe in reincarnation. So this is my first, second, third time around. I'm coming back again and again and again. And, you know, it's almost been proven that your consciousness does not die when you die. If that's the case, why are we still talking about dinosaurs who left here 66 million years ago? It's in somebody's consciousness, right? Their consciousness didn't die. It's in us, okay? So your consciousness doesn't die, you know? The physical form dies, but the soul, the spiritual force, it doesn't die. It's always alive, always.
What do you think it is about most people and their fear of death? Because what you just said is spot on, right on. I think, you know, when we came in this earth, we didn't know it. And I would argue once you die and that event happens, I understand the brain is still active for a few minutes, but it's not like we're going to, you know, the fear of death is really worse than what the reality of it is. So sort of talk to us about that a little bit.
Well, my own personal feeling is that we fear death because of the loss of materiality. Think about it. Nobody's going to hug me anymore. Nobody's going to kiss me anymore. I can't drive my car anymore. I can't walk anymore. All things I can't do. What about all things you can do? Now you can roam the heavens. Now you can be with all the trees. Now you can know what everybody's thinking you're doing all at one time. You know, everything's instantaneous. That's beautiful. To me, that's, you know, I mean, and like I say, I'm still talking to my son. I talk to my mom. I talk to my dad. I talk to people that I've been close to. You know, when you're thinking of somebody, they're contacting you. So anytime you randomly think about somebody, their conscious is saying, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Okay? Think about it. Why would you just think about somebody all of a sudden? Because they're calling you every day. You have to be aware. You have to be conscious. You have to be awoke. And I'm awoke. I'm constantly talking, you know, to people who've been gone, you know. I mean, heck, as far as I talk to the trees, I talk to the grass, I talk, you know what? When I'm walking down, sometimes I'm walking, I'll look down and the rock will say, pick me up. I'll pick it up, go, okay, what's going on, rock? You know, I'm serious. See, everything has consciousness, but we've been taught just the opposite. Oh, you know, we're this, we're that. Wait a minute, we're part of nature, and everything is part of us, and we're part of everything else. If you look at all the constituent minerals that we're made up of, may be worth about $1, but you cannot put a price on human life or love. Even though if you break down all of our biochemicals, it's about maybe $1, you know. But again, it's the materiality that makes people fear death. Okay. All the material things that they're not going to do anymore, okay? All the attachments they're not going to have anymore. Come on now, please, you know?
Yeah.
You know, everything comes and everything goes. One thing you can say that you know about life is that there's always change. That's the one constant thing about life. It's change.
Yeah, it's very well said. You know, it's funny, you know, like I said before on the top, you're very evolved in your thinking and how you think about life and death. And we have two births in a sense. We have the birth when we're birthed in the world, and then we have the birth actually when we leave the world, because there's a much better, greater beyond than what we see in this world. And I think part of it is how we're raised in this culture and how we're almost indoctrinated to think about what's important and what is certainty and what's the foundation of our lives. And the idea that we leave this earth and all that goes away in our mind can be troubling. But I like your perspective, because it's really a balance, and it's very reasonable. I mean, it's not like it's out there, but it's one that you can sort of, you know, put your brain around almost to say, yeah, that's it's a healthy way to look at death, if you will.
And you know, there's another thing people don't understand. There's a difference between the brain and the mind. Okay, the brain is physical, the mind is spiritual. Okay, you actually don't see things right side up. You actually see things upside down, and then a lens turns it around. So you think what you're seeing, what you actually see is upside down. What you actually see in your brain is upside down. But the mind tricks the brain and, you know, turns it right side up. So as an example, also, atoms don't have color, Ben. There are no blue atoms, even though blue is my favorite color. There are no blue atoms, yellow atoms, red atoms, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So the mind, you see, people think about the brain, but think about the mind. The mind is way greater than the brain could ever be. And we already know the brain has 100 billion memory cells, 100 billion, neurons.
Yeah.
The mind will probably take that times 1,000,000, right? And when you get into the complexity of really what the mind is about, oh, it's amazing, you know? So, You know, again, I'm just amazed about, as young kids say, it is what it is. I'm amazed about it is what it is. I am, always.
And you know what? No matter what age you are, you should be amazed, right? Just at life and the fact that we're here and the fact that what makes us up and our experiences in life, that's such a gift. And for people that don't have hope, and certainly during COVID, and they feel hopeless, if they could just recast their perspective and perception and recognize that, again, we're a ball flying through the universe, a space and time that we haven't fully understood. We can't grasp the enormity of space, right? And the idea that we're here, and it's almost like a miraculous creation, if you will, and that you are what you are. There's tremendous purpose in that.
Right. You know, Ben, I wrote a book, and it's called Love is Life. And let me tell you why I wrote it. Because I kept thinking, how can I simplify things so people make life so complex and simple? So I came up with love is life. Living on valued energy is surely love in full effect. So that took the love and the life, and it just brought it all together. It made a lot of sense. And it's something that, because I've been asking myself, you know, love. Okay, living on value. We know that that all you are is energy. You're energy, right? And if you look at quantum physics, it studies the nature of matter and energy and behavior based on the subatomic and atomic reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
That got me thinking that, you know, on the quantum level, there's no good or bad, up or down, right or left. It is what it is. And when I begin to think about being human, I go, wait a minute, why am I saying a flood is bad, a drought? I mean, that flood is bad, a drought is bad, because water seeks its own level, doesn't get into that. So I revolve more on the quantum level, to where I'm like, I want to be like the trees. I want to be like the wind. A flower grows, the winds blow, stars shine, sun gives us life, stars give us light. Be like those things, okay? And get away from judging, you know. For me, love is fun, it's forgiving, it's unconditional, and it's non-judgmental. That's how I live my life. I'm non-judgmental, you know. I don't put a condition on love. And if somebody messes up, I'll forgive them. You know, I mean, in terms of if they think they mess up, or if I think, you know, something happened and they whatever. So I try to cover all the bases, and I try to keep things simple, and it just makes a lot of sense. It just makes a lot of sense, because you understand that we're all one with nature, that we're all, you know, every physical body going through space makes the word Om, and at 1,000 miles an hour, what's the first word that a baby says? Om. So
right.
Even babies are recapitulating, or they are signing into the sounds of the universe, which is Om, to honor their existence. And babies don't know that. That's instinctual, because that's a gift that the universe, when they made that big sound through the Big Bang, gave us to remember, hey, it's all about Om. And if you go Om, you feel so peaceful. I tell people, when they're feeling upset or bothered, just go Om, and you're resonating with the sound of the universe. You can't go wrong. You can only go right. You can't go left. You can only go right, you know? Yeah. So to understand the fundamental basis, to me, of existence is, you know, like I said, I've just brought it down to quantum physics. And by no means I'm an astrophysicist. By no means I'm a great mathematician. But I do know the sound of truth when it rings. I do know the sound of truth when it rings, you know? So,
no, that's good. You know, and I want to bring up your book again, Love is Life. It's available on Amazon. Go check it out and go buy it. You know, right. What you just said is so true about quantum physics. And what I love about math and physics, it's really black and white. It's not emotional feelings. And not that it's bad to have emotions and feelings. But what you said is really important, because our perception of things, our judgment of things, not only of others, but of ourselves and our journey, is really can be very, very flawed and have very damaging outcomes to what
Yes.
you want. So
Yes.
the idea of looking things almost like a quantum level where it is what it is. It's black and white.
Exactly.
On that level, I think it's very, very important.
I love when they'll say, Daddy, it is what it is. I go, okay. Because, you know, I'm a war baby. I have a child who was a boomer. Then I have children who are millennials. And I have a child who is the Z. And if God blesses me again, there'll be a baby, whatever the next generation is going to be. But the point of it is that, you know, I see this thread going through all this beauty, and I'm just glad to be part of actually 5 generations. And I keep the, you know, people have known me in the 60s because I was a hippie in the 60s. They said, man, you haven't changed. I go, what? I go, why change?
Yeah.
When you know you're on the right path, whatever that path is, why are you going to change?
Right.
And I, you know, I love, you know, help people, share with people. I love to preach the gospel of love, living on value energy. You know, anything that I do, I tell people, anything I do with love. If you look like I'm angry, upset, I'm doing it with love. Everything I do with love. And I tell people, do everything you do with love. Living on value energy. Do not practice hate. Hate is habitual anger, trapping everyone. It's habitual, it's angry, and it traps everyone. So I go, you have a choice. You can live on value energy, or you can have habitual anger trapping everyone. Which one do you want to go? Obviously, you want to live on value energy. So what is that value energy? The value energy is you put value to your energy, okay? You put value on what you do, okay? You know, you do self-care. You take care of yourself. You take care of yourself. You have self-love. Then you give your self-love to other people, okay? It's a journey. It's a journey that's worth it, you know? And like I said, I've been journeying for 75 years and 5 months, and I hope to continue on to another 25, 30, or 40 years. But whatever time I do have or get left, I live every day to the fullest with great intention and great action. Because, you know, there's an old saying as a Catholic, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So I go like, okay, but I'm going to have good actions too. I'm going to have great actions, okay? You know.
Well, clearly, you know, the path you're on, Dr. Chill, is working because you're full of energy, you're positive. You've had some really big losses with your son and some setbacks, but yet your attitude and your energy, you're really living the values energy. I think it was what you said is your only frequency. And it's really a good example of how people can think about life. I've always said that, you know, when you think about the challenges and struggles that people go through, it's really how the brain and how the person's interpreting that event. Who says it means that when your son, you know, passed away from cancer, and I'm so sorry to hear that, it's the end, because it's the beginning. It's how you perceive that event. And the ripple effect of your son's life in so many other lives on the planet Earth that are still living as we understand life today. Mm-hmm. I mean, your son touched so many lives, and today you still wear his picture and you're able to bring his message to hundreds of thousands of people. Right.
You know, his thing was, as he was dying, he was going like, why aren't you smiling? I mean, you know, it's one thing to have the dignity of life, but it's a whole other thing when you have the dignity of death. I mean, he wore the dignity of death so beautifully. I'm saying, wow, you know.
And how old was he, Dr. Chill?
He was 26.
Wow.
26. And you know, man, I had a brother who also passed in the same time, a month later. He found out he had liver cancer, and they told him he had 6 months. So he didn't get 6 months, he had 4 months. But the last 4 months of his life, he devoted to putting out his last album 2 weeks before he died. How do you face dignity with death? How do you face death completing a project that you know you're never going to see, that you're never going to hear again? That is so beautiful. That is so courageous. That is so understanding. It's like, wow, you know, I'm like, you know, and like I said, I lost both of them within a month, and then I lost my mother like 3 months later. So I got hit with 3 deaths in 2012, back to back. You know, I was driving to San Francisco every other week to see my brother and come back down here and be with my sons. And every other week I go up to see my brother. And, you know, it was amazing, but it just taught me, you know, the beauty of life, and also the beauty of death. You know, I have 3 angels. I was closest to my brother as siblings. I was my mother's favorite child. I was my father's favorite child. And Miyaki was my male twin of all my children. So it's like, I mean, I have guardian angels whose shoulders and assets that I'm standing on, you know, and it makes me every day. I mean, I'm doing all these projects, putting out songs and messages, and people say, why now? I go, well, you know, I'm 75 now. I've raised all my children. I have a daughter who's now in the Navy. She's 20. I go, you know, it's time to get my messages out to the world, because as a pediatrician, you know, I have to see one patient at a time. But as an artist, as a poet, as a philosopher, I can talk to literally hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And that's what I want to do, because I have a message that the universe has asked me to convey, and I just want to do that. You know, to me, the message is not important. What's important is the message. And so all those singers and people who are out there doing things in life, I just want to remind you, make it about the message. Don't make it about you. Make it about the message. Make it about the message of helping other people through your dharma, about making sure that they have a good life, a great life, you know, a life is good or if not better than yours, you know, as opposed to, oh, I want to be selfish and I want to get all this, I want to get all that, because in the end, you don't take anything with you, because in the beginning you had nothing. So the life is all about putting no great value on anything that's material, because it does not, it will not last, period.
Right. It's like what the Bible says, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. And so you've had such an amazing experience with 3 deaths in 2012. And your journey you're on right now, you're really, I think, an expert at talking to how do you think about stresses, challenges, and setbacks. So what would you say to people that are going through this COVID pandemic? And there's a lot of people with emotional health issues. They're stressed, they're full of anxiety, they've lost their jobs, they're not sure how to think about what's going on. What advice would you give to all the people that are struggling with the current pandemic?
You know, it has affected us all many different ways, but I go back to what I said in the beginning. The universe gives you what you need. If you take a word like need and you do what we call lexigram it, the word Eden comes out of that. And the last time I checked, the Garden of Eden was a place of paradise. So you can have a paradise in your mind, or you can have a horrific scene in your mind. You have what you need. This is happening for a reason, and you have to not let circumstances define who you are. You cannot let circumstances define who you are. You have to define who you are. You have to rise up to the level of the frequency of the universe. It's here. It's 432. 432 equals 9. 9 is the number of completion. Completing not meaning it's ended, meaning you have everything. You can say completion is ended, or I have everything. My perspective is I have everything, not it's ended. Okay? Mm-hmm. And you know, as they always say, there's always a silver lining in the clouds. Always. Always. Matter of fact, most clouds, people don't know this, have about 50 tons of water. You can look, it's just a cloud. A cloud looks like there's nothing, right? It has about 50 tons of water. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a whole other thing. It's like, wait a minute. As a matter of fact, there's more water in the air than there is in the oceans. As a matter of fact, Earth itself should not be called Earth. It should be called sea, because apparently there's more water under the oceans than there is in the oceans. So you see, even then we've been told something different. You just have to understand what really is and really get into it. I know for a fact, Earth is a living organism. Earth is going through their own thing. It just so happens at the same time Earth is going through its thing, we're also going through our thing. So it seems like we're making a bad influence on Earth. No, Earth is alive. It is alive. The table that I'm sitting at right now is moving. Moving slower than I'm moving, but it's definitely moving, okay? Perspective, understanding, you know, and if you understand that we're all part of this universe is not going, wow, COVID, I don't feel so good. The universe is not making that judgment. We're making that judgment, okay? Things are as well as you want them to be, in spite of whatever goes on. I don't let the outside world disturb my inside. But my inside world, we all have beautiful, wonderful souls. Mm-hmm. That's what you are. It's your soul. It's your essence. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. What's outside of it, don't let it affect what's on the inside of you. Let the inside of you affect what's on the outside of you. See? That's the perspective you have to take.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, that's what they have to do. They have to do that. And that's what I do every day. You know?
And I can tell. And so let me switch gears here a little bit. You have 2 amazing daughters. And
yes.
Before, you must be one of the proudest dads on planet Earth. So tell us more
I
about
am.
your daughters and their musical journey, because I've listened to their music. It's completely amazing, and we'd
It
love to
really
hear
is.
firsthand about their ascent and their journey.
Well, I have actually have 5 daughters. So we'll talk about my you might say my middle daughters, which is Janae, Rita J, and Miyoko. So once upon a time, actually when Janae was born, I told her mother, this was March 16th, 1988. It's almost 12 midnight for St. Patrick's Day. I said, Tina, Christina, we now have the next Jackson 5. That was when Janae was born. I said, we're going to give our children to the world. What father or mother have you ever heard say, we're going to give our children to the world? And I was going to give them to the world through the medium of music and dance. So I enrolled my daughter Miyoko and Jamila in dancing classes. And next thing you know, they became great dancers, professional dancers. And then they went on to work with a group called Immature. And then they were in a group called Girl, which would have been the next TLC group. But unfortunately, one of the girls who I had put into the group, mother decided that she wanted to be a manager. And so that ended that. But meanwhile, Janae was in the background watching. And when she was 12 years of age, 13 years of age, she got signed to Epic Records. And she was part of a group called, she was part of the B2K movement, which was a black boy band, which was amazing. And they did great things. And just as her career was about to take off, B2K disbanded. And so that meant they tried to put Janae back on the back burner, so to speak. And so, she just kind of meandered here and there. And I would always tell her and Mila J, during the times when things weren't looking so rosy for them, in the music business, said, do not give up. Don't give up. Follow your dreams. Let your dreams manifest. And so that's what Janae did. She didn't let that, little setback, hit her back. And she come in tired from work at the different little restaurants where she would work. I said, don't give up. You'll be all right. Keep going. She kept going. And then she put out her first mixtape. And it was like over 1 million people downloaded it. And then from there on, she became a writer at Universal. She got signed to Def Jam. And she told them, I'm going to sell my soul. S-A-I-L. S-A-I-L. Not S-E-E-L. Okay? But I'm going to be on the oceans of life.
I love that.
That's where I'm going to go. That's what she did.
Yeah.
That's what she did. And what I love about Janae is that she vibes on a very spiritual, healing level. Every cell in your body has a frequency. And when it gets diseased, if you go back and you match the natural frequency of that cell, you heal it. And that's what she does to her music. She actually heals people through her music as well as her lyrics. There are many great singers out there. There are many great sounds. But when you get somebody who has a great sound, great lyrics, and heals you, I've often told people there needs to be a new genre of music called spiritual healing music, of which I believe, of which I know she's the #1 proponent, hero, whatever you want to call it. Nobody does it better. And she does it better because she doesn't do it because she's better at it. She does it because she wants to heal people. She does this naturally. It's not about, I'm looking for fame and fortune. Matter of fact, she doesn't like to play real big venues because in real big venues, there's no intimacy. She wants people to understand. She wants them to feel what she's all about. I have a saying. If you can't feel me, F-E-E-L me, you cannot F-I-L me. If you can't feel me from my heart, how can I feel you intellectually? How can you understand what I'm about? It's the heart, then the mind, not the mind and the heart. You see, because your heart was formed way before your brain was doing anything. So it's about your heart, okay? There's a he art, and I always say there's a he art and there's a she art. And that's the art that we all create. A he art for the males and the she art for the females. And I absolutely love everything that she does. Every song has a message. Every song has a message. Her latest album, Happiness Over Everything. Happiness over everything. And that's what it's about. It's about this pursuit of happiness over everything, you know?
Yeah.
And Mila J, she is more of, her thing is more moving. Her thing is more dancing. And, you know, I want to see her on the big screen because she's very funny. And she just, you know, she sings and she dances, but her thing is she's just, I think for her, it's going to be films because she just has this incredible look. You know, she, to me, is going to be one day, I think, the Marilyn Monroe of her generation, meaning that she's going to be so well and beloved for things that she's doing and saying on screen, not off screen, on screen, you know? And again, I'm so proud because, you know, back in the 80s, I had my own studio and they used to see me back there doing things. And one day, as a matter of fact, one of my daughters, Miyoko, said, "Daddy," this is about 5 years ago. She said, "You know, if they're doing music now in the 2010s, you're doing that 30 years ago." I go, "Well, I kind of always been ahead of my time. I've always been ahead of my time, but you know, just like right now, people go like, I love spirituality. I said, but I've been spiritual all my life. I've been the same when people know me, knowing I've been on the same path. Haven't changed, you know? I haven't changed. And, but again, like I said, I love the music that they represent because they make people think, they make people feel, they make people want to engage in this life as opposed to, you know, self-medicate or go here or go there, you know. So I'm extremely proud to be, as one of my daughters says, to be their co-creators, you know.
I love it.
You know? Yes.
So Dr. Chill, I mean, tell the audience, I mean, at the early stages, you knew they were going to go into music. So what was it when they were born that gave you that inclination that my daughters, both of these beautiful creations, are going to go into music? I mean, how did you know that?
Well, you know, it's funny when Miyoko, she is the oldest of my middle kids. When she was born, when I looked at her, it's like she reminded me of a baby seal. You know how baby seals have these big eyes and they just look at you so adoringly and so lovingly. I go, you know, when I saw her go, that look has to be given to the world. She's just so full of, you know, Miyoko means beautiful generation's child. It's a Japanese, you know, name. And she was the millennial generation and she was a new generation's child. So I said, you know what? I want people to see what I see. Very few parents, as I say, will share the children for the world. Most parents shield their children from the world. I'm one of these few parents who gave their children to the world because I want them to experience the beauty and love that I saw. I wasn't going to keep this to myself because, as I said before, I'm a sharer. I really share. You know, if I'm eating and somebody homeless comes up and they want to eat, I'll either share my food with them or buy them some food. Share everything because, you know, life shares everything with us. So why do we become so egotistical? Everything is mine. I own nothing. I don't even know my soul. My soul was given to me. Like I say in the words, like I say in Surrender, everything is given to us naturally. So why can't we give it back easily? Why not? You give everything free. Why can't you give it back? Why? Think about it. And that's what I do. And you know, so it just went along with my philosophy of sharing the children with the world. My children have been in music since kids songs. Janae started being in videos, I think, when she was 2. Miyoko started being in videos when she was 5. You know, so I've seen them go from kids songs to working with Prince, with Michael Jackson, with Milton Berle, with every celebrity you want to name. They work with each and every one of them. Yes.
Very impressive.
And, yes. Prince, as a matter of fact, wrote for Jamila. He covered one of Mila J's songs on one of his albums. Her song was called Blinded, And on his album, the song is called You Know. And if you listen to the song You Know by Prince, that's Jamila's song and her voice in it. And she gladly gave it to him, you know. And they were, Miyoko and Jamila, or Mila J, were in Prince's most famous video called Diamonds and Pearls. They're sitting on the lap of Rosie Gaines, who was in the video as well. And he kept up with Miyoko and Mila J all the years while he was alive. Anytime he came to town, he always invited Mila J and Miyoko to come to his shows at the Forum or wherever he was. He loved, and Prince was a very giving, he gave away way more money than he made, trust me. He's a beautiful cat, you know? And
that's saying something, because I was talking to another guy that was on my show about 5 months ago, and he actually met Prince, and it was at a Hollywood party. It was really funny because Prince was going to perform to a private audience, and literally they had him in a box that he was maybe shoulder to shoulder with Prince. And he says his persona was he's very meek, very introverted, didn't want to say much. But man, when he got on that stage, he was a different cat. He was a different animal. He just came to life and just owned everything, the audience, the stage, the performance, everything.
Right. But, you know, and I actually never met him, although my daughter said one time, he told her, he said, "You have one of the coolest pops around." I said, "Jamila, why you tell me this after he died? You could have told me that." When he's like, "Well, Daddy, I didn't think much of it." Right. But, you know, he was, you know, to them, he was a classy gentleman, great musician, great friend. And like I said, anytime he came in town, he called him up, said, "Hey, I'm here. I want to invite you to whatever I'm doing." I mean, that's amazing.
I mean, what a classic. I mean, he's Prince. He's got millions of fans the world over. And to come into LA and be able to give that time and attention to your daughters really says a lot about the man and his character.
I'm telling you, he was, you know, he was probably one of the greatest entertainers who's ever lived, because he you know, wrote his own music. He made other people
talented. Better. Yeah.
Yes. And he was extremely spiritual. Yep.
Yeah. So where do you think your daughters got their music talent from? Was it you or your wife, or?
Definitely from me. And what I found out, on my father's side of the family, there are other musicians that I'm beginning to meet now. I know my mother's side of the family very well, but I said I was not very close to my father, although I was close to his brothers and sisters who lived where I'm originally from, which is Cincinnati, Ohio, which we consider to be the birthplace of rhythm and blues. But I've met other cousins, so it definitely came from my father's side. And I have a sister. Her name is Regina Lynn Bowman, and somebody wanted to sign her when she was 13. My sister had the looks of a Lola Falana or a Josephine Baker or Dorothy Dandridge or Alina Horn when she was 13, and she could have made a world of difference in terms of the world of entertainment. But my mother didn't want to see her get involved because she thought she was too young. And at that time, her, myself, and another brother and sister, we could have been a group, but you know, it wasn't meant to be. So I always tell Janae, I said, you know what? I said, you're doing what my sister Lynn would have done, and we would have had a group out, you know, years ago. But you know, it wasn't meant to be. So, but it still didn't stop me from doing what I did in terms of, you know, doing music, doing medicine. You know, I was at one time going to be signed by somebody out of Detroit, but because I had a little marital situation going on where I was getting divorced, you know, I didn't pursue it. But had I pursued it in 1976, then, you know, you'd have been talking to somebody who had a bunch of albums out and a whole bunch of books out and so on and so forth. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is, you know. So
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So where can the audience find the music for Janae and Milo? Where would they go to discover it?
Okay, well, they're all over Apple Music, Spotify. I mean, you know, the difference between Janae and Mila J is that Janae has had better management, but the talent is equal, you know, and you know, it goes without saying, Ben, you can have all the talent in the world, you can be a great musician, but if you don't have the management to get that out there, you know, I mean, who would have known about Einstein or Tesla if they hadn't had somebody to kind of steer them in a way where their inventions would make sense, you know? I mean, there are plenty of geniuses walking around, but they don't have proper management or business skills. nobody's gonna know about them.
Yeah.
At all, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I rate them as equal, you know, musically. One is more spiritual, one is probably more pragmatic, but they have their own styles, and I love them both. I'm close to both of them, and I'm proud to be their co-creator. You know, I'm proud that they represent, you know, Chilombo, which means basically CHI is life force, L is for love, OM stands for the sound of the universe, B stands for foundation, and O is the most perfect geometrical figure, you know, because there's no beginning and no end, you know? And so that's what Chilombo is all about, you know.
I love it. It's a very, very cool name. I hope you trademarked it, because it's a very catchy, unique name.
Well, you know, it's amazing when Janae put out her latest album called Chilombo, in honor of the family name, that she had me write the tracks out. And I love to write. If I were alive in the Middle Ages, I would have been the top monk copier. You know, I would have written the Bible or any great document. I would have loved to sit down there and just write it. And so she allowed me to use my cursive and calligraphy abilities to write out all her tracks. And when we had the premiere of her album, you know, the listening party, I came in there and she had all these tracks written out and things blown up. And I was amazed, because I was like, wow, you know. And so to be honored like that, to be a part of what I know is going to be a Grammy nominated, a Grammy winning CD, I was like blown away. And then I helped to write a song called Surrender. And that's really what this time right now is all about. This time right now is telling people, surrender to that which is greater than you. If you surrender to that which is greater than you, you'll get everything that you need. Everything will be all right. This is a lesson for the world right now. As bad as the COVID thing is for many people, the lesson is surrender. Surrender. Okay? And those who are surrendering in the greatest sense of the word, understanding about need, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's powerful. That's a tough one for a lot of people, because people like to be in control. They want certainty. They want to know the sky's blue, the sky's up, and things are going to be the same. And with COVID, it's really thrown everything in the lurch, if you will. So let me switch gears here. And, you know, as I'm looking at your Instagram and your style, I love your style, the bandana, the glasses, the jacket, the blue. Your really style is the definition of swag. So what drives your clothing style? And I did notice that you had a Chilombo jacket, and wanted to see if you guys are you planning on some sort of clothing line?
Well, I do have T-shirts. As a matter of fact, if you go to my IG, there are probably 200 or 300 T-shirts that I can put out, and I plan to do that, because my thing is, and one reason why I put the book out, if they read the book, then they'll read T-shirts, because right now people don't read at all. Okay, so if they read the book, then I can get them going back to reading simple thing on a T-shirt to teach, to learn. There should be a Chilombo line out. I have my own ideas about some things, because I'm known as Dr. Chill OG. That stands only for greatness, and not that I'm great, but great in the sense that I'm part of a great universe, and I want to speak to that universe, and I want to let the universe, I know how great it is, and I'm so grateful to be part of the great universe. And on a human level, if I say only greatness, then it'll teach them to understand the greatness of the universe. That's the only reason why I do that. Because as below, I mean, as above, so below, right? So, but yes, I've been wanting the family to do a Chilombo line, because there are 8 of us, and so there should be, you know, 8 different things going on. But again, see, I come from a generation of sharing. Millennials, they don't share so much. I mean, they share certain philosophies, but they're not into the sharing of things as much. So I'm trying to get them to understand, hey, you know, this is not about the family. It's about the world. It's about the spiritual world. It's about all of us, not some of us. It's about all of us, right? I don't want anything or anybody to be left out, you know, because if the lowest guy is feeling bad, I'm feeling bad, okay? So I want everybody to resonate to, hey, you know what it is to be happy why can't you try to make everything and everybody around you happy to the best of your ability, you know? Because we're all one.
You know what I love about the idea of your t-shirt, because you bring up a great point. A lot of people don't read. And why is Instagram or TikTok famous? Because it's limbic rich, what I call the monkey brain. It's emotive, it's emotions, it's instant gratification. It's not the higher cerebral cortex thinking. And if you have a shirt with a quote or a saying on it that makes people think and causes them to pause and stop and say, huh, right? That's interesting. And maybe evolves
exactly
going deeper in that concept. Maybe it touches your life in some way or whatnot. I think the shirt idea is brilliant because we live in an limbic rich world. That's what Instagram's built on.
Yes.
And to get people to think differently, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Well, you know, like I say, I have a book I'm going to put out called The ABC Play, and I took the ABCs, and when you see it, it's an amazing concept. I mean, it's a simple concept, A to Z, but when you really get down to it, you begin to understand, wow, there is so much here. And like I say, like when I said, don't compete, complete, just take real simple things, break them down, build them back up. You should
make that a shirt. I've never heard that, and that's probably bad on me, but I love that. Don't compete, complete.
Right. I mean, you know, and I mean, there are, you know, it's like know and know and peace and pray and pray. I mean, I just take, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, don't let something prey on you, P-R-E-Y, let something prey on you, P-R-A-Y. You know,
it's beautiful.
Real simple things, you know, real simple things, you know, like I'm not interested in the peace of life, P-I-E-C. I'm interested in the P-A-C of life,
right,
okay?
Right.
Because the peace of life means it's going to be gone. You know, you're one slice of pizza, two slices, pretty soon it's gone, right? Peace grows, peace does not grow. You know, P-I-E-C-E does not grow, P-E-A-C-E grows. So, you know, again, you take the simple things, Ben, and it happens. Real simple. You know, people make it too complex, you know, and that's why got me going on this thing called quantum love. As a matter of fact, I'm going to unveil next week what I call the quantum love movement. And I'm trying to get people to understand, get on the level of the quantum. Your life will be better because you'll be in March with the odyssey, with the real odyssey of existence. Not this fake thing, not the Hollywood, you know, thing of life, not the Disneyland thing of life. I'm not having nothing against Hollywood and Disneyland, but we all know, for instance, that all the fairy tales that we hear about, Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, and Sleeping Beauty, all those are based on adult grim fairy tales, which are not very nice if you read them. So I just want to stay with the reality of the quantum. Once you understand the reality of the quantum, then you understand the reality of the human life that you're living, realizing that we are divine creatures having a human experience. Not human being, you know, we are divine beings having a human experience, not human beings having a divine experience, okay? And big difference in that perspective, huge difference. Like I said, seeing a cloud in the sky, you don't realize there's 50 tons of water in it. You think, oh, it's just a cloud. It's way more than that. It's way more than that, you know.
No, that's very powerful. I mean, I'm just sitting here listening, and you're spot on. I think in our culture, it doesn't emphasize the divine. It emphasizes the challenge, the humanistic, man at the center of the spoke and the hub, right? Everything's at the center is the person. And the idea is we are a spirit, we are a soul, there is divinity, and not tapping into that is about taking away 80% or 90% of who we really are.
Right. See, the problem is when man began to think of everything in terms of anthropomorphic situations, that's where we messed up. You know, we made ourselves the most important thing in our lives, on this planet, in this universe, and it's just exact opposite. It is exactly the opposite. You know, if you think in terms of the weight of something, we're not even a microgram of all of existence. You know, we don't even begin to be thought of as being weighed. As a matter of fact, on this planet, the animal that has the most weight in this planet are the ants. They're more ants mass-wise than our humans. And we're steadily stomping on them, killing them, get out of my kitchen, get out of my life, blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. If anybody is an intruder, that would be us. So understand that and live it accordingly. And then everything will be fine.
That's right. I don't know if you ever saw there's a video on the pale blue dot, and Voyager 1 space probe was going through the universe and looked back at the Earth and kept pulling away, looking back at the Earth. And literally the Earth, as it continued to pull away, obviously turned into nothing. But at some points, it was just this small pale blue dot in the universe. And if that doesn't tell you our size and scope in relationship to the universe, I don't know what does. But I think from an eternal perspective, we're much bigger than that. But in physical standards, right, we're really not much. And yet the egos you see going on in America, in the world where some people enjoy greater economic prosperity, it's really fascinating when you think about their ego and how they see their life. What I've noticed, though, is as people go from 20 to 80, 85, there's a temperance. There's a temperament that goes on. There's a transition that happens with those people, and an evolvement. And it's almost like they probably think to themselves, boy, if I was 85 and I could think the way I think at 85 when I was 20, how much richer would life be if I could have that perspective?
Right.
That makes sense.
It does. And see, as far as physicality is concerned, our sun, okay, so the biggest planet star that I know of is a star called Antares, and our sun would fit into Antares about 1 billion times, which demagnifies us to the point of almost nothingness. But as I said before, what keeps me going, my perspective is, I know that I'm next to nothing in all of creation. And as long as I understand that and know that and give praise to the universe for that, then I feel great and happy. I feel fulfilled because I know I finally know my place. Okay.
Right.
That's not this. Right there. I'm not this. I'm this greatest thing that creation ever made or whatever. Blah blah blah. No, I'm probably, to me, my perspective is I'm probably the least thing ever made, and just glad to be here, because there was a time when there was no human life on this earth. There will be a time again when there will be no human life on this earth, just like there was a time when there was Earth on Mars, and it's not happening now. There will be a time, okay? And there may be a time when something such as human will never exist again, okay? So the experience that I'm having, I'm grateful. Everything that allows me to be, to experience this. And I do know that if I don't go on again as a human, my experiences will always, my consciousness will always go on, okay? And I take great feelings in actually knowing that, okay? Because that means I will always still be a part of the universe, no matter what form, shape, or perspective,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at things. Yeah, I like it. So let me switch gears once again. Who's the most influential person in your life?
I'd have to say my mother. Yeah, because she helped co-create me, and she taught me how to be a person. I was one of these kids. I was probably reading it at 2 or 3. I had the use of reason at the age of 4. Most people don't get it till they're 7. I was a little kid, walking down the street, and I could tell if I'm listening to, as an adult, as a child, if I'm listening to an adult conversation before, I knew exactly what you're talking about, the words you were using, what you meant, what you didn't mean. And I would tell people, say, why are you guys talking like that? That doesn't make any sense to me. And they go, little kid, what do you know? I go, like, I know sense. I know common sense, And so, and I was the last one to basically, leave home. I was a mama's boy, and,
sure.
And, whenever she did anything, she could always count on me, I would say she's the most influential person in my life. She taught me the meaning of life, taught me the meaning of love. As a matter of fact, when she passed, I coined the word life. I said, because my mother gave us the one gift that we will always treasure, and that was life. And that was love in full effect. And my love quote came, like 10 years ago. So, so I would say she's the most influential person in my life, Yeah.
What is the most important lesson you've learned in life?
Never to give up. I did some songs back in 1986, the year my son was born.
Mm-hmm.
And I put one out called Neighborhood, and gave it to a few friends, made about 500 copies from my studio. And about a year ago, somebody contacted me and said, did I write the song? Yes, I did. And they had a copy of it. They were in Korea, and the guy told me that his father had died. And somebody gave him this record with my signature on it, and it made him feel good or happy in a time when he was feeling very depressed and very sad. He said, so can I recreate this? I go, wow, it's something I hadn't thought about 34 years ago. And I said, sure. So we came to a thing, and they're going to re-put the song back out, and they're going to put it on vinyl. They're going to sell it. And then I did another song called Wish I Love. I did that 34 years ago. And I recently put that out 2 years ago. And to me, the whole thing is you never know whose lives you touched, and never give up on anything. A hello or smile today might save somebody's life. You never know whose life you impact. You never know how things are going to turn out. So you don't give up on it. You don't give up on yourself. You don't give up on any ideas that you have. You just don't give up. You don't quit. I am consistent in my persistency, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I tell people that, you know, don't give up. No matter what, do not give up. Don't quit.
So important. So important.
Yes, yes.
So for future generations listening, is there any wisdom you'd like to pass on to them? And what would you want them to know?
Wow. I did have a quote, but I don't want to mess it up. I don't know. I just, you know, I would just say, love life. You know, I know it sounds very trivial, but that's the key to love life. I would say, I have a saying that you should habituate happiness, make a habit of being happy, and love life, and finally practice peace. If you do those three things, you will do well. The other thing I would say is have people check out my IG, because I have so many sayings, I mean, I could sit here, if I had another phone, and read them to you. Wow. I have so much that the universe has given me. See, I see myself as a messenger delivering a message. That's it, period. I'm just a messenger delivering a message. I don't take credit for anything other than what the universe has given me. Period.
Yeah, you're conduit. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I am. That's all I ever will be. And I'm honored and grateful and respectful that the universe has allowed me to be one of its messengers. I really am thankful for that, you know.
Great perspective. I love it. So is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, yes. A little self-promotion. So I put out a CD called Metaphysical Wonderlands, and it's 16 tracks. A lot of it is, these are basically poems that I wrote. I got with a musician who I asked to make the music temper the words. I recorded my poems first, and so the music had to match my rhythm. That's my method, how I write. I speak, then I match the rhythm of my voice. I allow the music to match that rhythm, which is natural. Mm-hmm. And I had messages for people. And I think when they hear it, I call it spoken word, and it makes you think. It takes you into those places where you're not used to going to. And of course, I liked it because it represented messages that I could get out to the world. And I also wrote a book called Fun with Words that I allow young children to, between 8 and 11, to look at root words that they can have fun with, because to me, learning should always be fun. If you learn with fun, not learn with rote, but learn with fun, makes more sense. And life becomes richer. And then,
right, because all learning styles are different, right? I mean, if you go to a classroom setting and the way they structure it, that's not always for most kids.
Right. And when people read the book, as a matter of fact, I'm going to make audiobooks out of both my books, Love is Life and Fun with Words by Dr. Chill, because from what I've been told, this came to me from one of my dear friends on IG. She said, Dr. Chill, we loved your voice on Janae's Trip album put out in 2017. Why don't you make a meditation album? Because we like what you say, but more importantly, we love the tonality of your voice. We love how you put it down. So I did that, and lo and behold, people said, wow. So I get the same response from the album. I'm going to put these books out on audiobooks. I love to read, and I do love to talk, but I'm not a fan of my voice. But once I was told I had this gift, then I said, okay, let me make it work for everybody. Okay, let me do this. Let me put these things out and let me help to heal people. Okay, because I like Janae, we were born healers. See, I could teach anybody to be a doctor. I can't teach you how to heal. You either have it or you don't have it. And we all have different talents, okay? Because contrary to what's said, we're not all created equal. We all have different talents. And that's beautiful. So I'm working on that. And I have 2 singles out. One new single is called Drifting. And it can be heard on Apple Music, Spotify. And it was particularly for this time because everybody right now, their mind is drifting. They don't know what to do. When they hear this, there's such peace and such quiet and such beauty that when you hear it, it just takes you to another place. And then I'm putting another song out called Quantum Love, which is in the same realm as Drifting, except I'm having people focus on quantum love. Not human love, but quantum love. That's the love that the universe has for us, okay? We wouldn't be here if the universe didn't love us, right? Mm-hmm. People, they think about mother and father. Well, who do you think made mother and father? Whether you call it God, universal quantum, we know something else made us, and that's what I'm addressing. That's what people keep running from. I just want people to feel the truth as I feel it, but through the medium of music.
Beautiful, beautiful. So how can they learn more about you and connect with you directly and take advantage of the music and all the things you're doing?
Well, again, so if they go to my IG, which is C_Karamo, K-A-R-A-M-O. That's C_Karamo, K-A-R-A-M-O. That's my IG. And on Facebook, I am Karamo Chilombo, which is K-A-R-A-M-O, Karamo Chilombo, C-H-I-L-O-M-B-O. That's it. I don't Twitter because I have too much to say, and 140 characters is not enough for me, so I don't get on Twitter.
Right.
And I don't do Tumblr. So then I also have a YouTube channel under Karamo Chilombo, K-A-R-A-M-O, C-H-I-L-O-M-B-O. And there I feature my dancing. I love to dance. Even at 75, I love to dance. I love to do Chuck Berry's Duck Walk, Mm-hmm. Chuck Berry was actually the king of rock and roll, although he never got the credit. But anybody who knows music knows he was the king of rock and roll. And I've been singing since I was 11. So I've been singing for like 64 years. I'm going to continue to sing. As a matter of fact, the song I wrote called Wish I Love, which is also on YouTube, I have the same voice now as I had 34 years ago. And I'm going to tell you, ask any singer out, is their voice the same as it was 34 years ago? And you're going to get a resounding no. I don't know how I've been able to preserve my vocal DNA, but I've been able to preserve my vocal DNA. And DNA for me stands for divine, natural absoluteness. And we all have it. Again, DNA is divine, natural absoluteness. We all have it, but some of us just don't know it. So I tell people to get in touch with your divine, natural absoluteness because it'll work for you if you allow it.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Chillman, I'm feeling your vibe, your wit, your wisdom, your experience, and your heart and soul. And thanks for being so real for the audience and being transparent and just approachable. I love the spirit, the perspective. And in this time of COVID, I think you really provide a lot of strategies to think about, things to think about. I hope the audience will connect with you. And I really appreciate you coming on to be on.
It was, you know what, it's my honor, but it was also my duty to allow people to see kind of what's going on in my life and the lives of my children, actually in all of our lives, because I'll say it once, say it again. I am you, you are me, we are we.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes,
thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate this.
You bet.